Hi, welcome to Operational Planning with Insurance. My name is John Crosser, and I'm going to share some ideas with you about finding and keeping key employees. There's lots of information, so I've broken this up into two parts. Part one is what you're going to see right now, and this is video series 8A. A business owner's ability to find, hire, and keep key employees will play an important role in building a successful business. How these key people are integrated into the business system will also determine the success of the business. So some common solutions to finding and keeping key employees is by finding new staff through a recruiter and headhunter. Although that's not a bad idea, there's some things that need to be done prior to that taking place. Attracting new staff with higher financial incentives, meaning just throwing money at them, and keeping key people just by offering insufficient cash bonuses. So again, there are other ways that you can do that, but let's talk about a few other things. Let's do a quick review. Let's dust off the owner's manual and look at three important areas: why we went in business, what we're trying to accomplish, and where we're going. From the business owner's perspective, why the business owner decided to go in business in the first place is really important. Outside of the idea that from its altruistic reasons for starting the business, typically they want to generate cash flow and then sell the business down the road. So in order to do all those things, there's two things that have to be in place. One of them is the systems, and the second one is people to run those systems. So however you decide which one's more important, it's totally up to you, but business owners will sell their systems and the people that go along with those systems. So to do that, let's take a look at the systems here before we start working on the people. And it's important to look at your system, because what will happen is that the top 5 reasons why staff are leaving potentially your business: number 1, the company has no other goal other than to make money, and they feel it. Number 2, they don't like their boss or their coworkers. Number 3, they don't feel appreciated. Number 4, they're having a hard time fitting into the system. And number 5, they're unhappy with their pay. So looking at number 5, throwing money at a problem may not necessarily be the right thing to save people from leaving. Let's take a look at some. From the owner's perspective, it's important to not only understand everything that we do in way of business that generates revenue, but we also need to understand which products or services that we sell generates the most profit. Now, research shows that as high as 58% of some Canadian industries lack the financial acumen and general information as to the profit drivers of their business. In addition, 58% feel they don't have a very strong leadership team. So it's really important, before we can actually hire and train key people, we need to have a better understanding of all that drives our business. And finally, from the owner's perspective, it's really important to understand where the business is going. By understanding where we're heading helps us attract the right people, but doing so, it allows them to grow with, not just fit in, but actually grow with us when they can paint themselves into the business picture. Now that we know which products or services generates the most profits, here are a few potentially new ideas when it comes to finding key personnel. Number 1, if you're going to hire or eternally promote key people, it's important to do so in those really important areas. Those include the biggest bang for the buck and those that generate the most money. Number 2, if we're going to hire and or promote internally people that will help develop the next big ideas, extremely important. Certainly diversifying is really important for when certain economies go south a little bit. So again, you need to have people around that are going to actually think outside the box. Number three, so certainly, if I was going to hire somebody to help maximize a product or service that I was providing, I certainly would use a recruiter. Not in all cases, but most often I would use a recruiter. They have the expertise in a certain field to help you go out and find the things that you need to have. And then also, if you're going to promote internally, you need to have people that that you're going to bring on board or promote that actually are valued by the customer. Great idea to actually figure out who it is that we need to promote. Also, they have a key knowledge, and also they can influence others. All these things will help us find key people. Okay, now that we have them on board, how do we keep them? We all know the negative impact that departing key personnel can have on our business. So it ranges from all kinds of things, from low staff morale, and we know when staff aren't happy, they're not working very hard, and therefore we have low productivity. Also, loss of tactic knowledge, and really we've just lost the go-to person that has all the knowledge and so forth. So again, lots of things that impact our business. Also, we miss out on the next big idea. At the end of the day, they usually bring lots of energy to the business, and they always have a tendency to think outside the box. And lastly, their pocketbooks. It has been shown that a departing key member will actually cost us about 6 months of pay to replace. You'll hire people to do the job. You find out you can't do the job. There's mistakes that are made. We've lost out on bids. All kinds of things happen as a result of losing the key people. So let's figure out ways that we can keep. One way to develop a plan to keep key people around is to use a combination of non-financial incentives and also financial incentives, and then break them down into short-term and long-term goals. Now, unfortunately, there's not a magical equation that all key people fall under, but at the end of the day, you got to find out what really drives them, and then find out those driving factors and put them in terms of non-financial incentives and financial incentives. Here are some financial incentives that we've either used in the past or we know of companies that have used them in the past. And we thought they're great ideas, so we'll pass them on to you. The yellows represent the short-term goals and the blues represent the long-term goals. One thing that we do is that we try to base all your benefits as a percentage of whatever your base salary is. And typically the range goes from 2 to 4, that's kind of on the low end, so that's a percent. If you're giving benefits between 5 and 7%, that represents probably the middle road. And anything 8% and up, those represent towards the high end. So again, base everything on the base salary. And then also certainly keeping them healthy, because we all know what happens when these guys are not healthy, is that employees, we let them buy what it is that they need. So if they want group insurance, if they want disability, CI, if they want World Health insurance, if they want to have a savings program, all those things are available to them. And it's not just a one-size-fits-all. And then for Pete's sakes, it's really important to actually take some life insurance out on these key people. I mean, what's going to happen to your business if, heaven forbid, one of them should die, and as well as what's going to happen to the family if something drastic should happen to them. On the other side, one idea that we've seen that seems to work really well, and that's performances and commissions based on performance in a particular department, not the overall company's perspective, because there are things that they can't control, but finding that out. Most of these guys, these key people, will actually, and I say guy, I mean guys and girls. Typically what happens is that they're different people. They actually will work forever, and they'll continually work. So at the end of the day, it's nice to be able to have some portable stuff that goes with them. A portable disability program that has level premiums is kind of cool. Also critical illness with a return of premium, and also health and dental programs that are portable as well. And then lastly, potentially give them bonuses that are very tax efficient. Now, most of these things I'm going to go into more detail on the next video series. Of course, to do all the things that we do, it requires a tremendous support team. And Maureen and Fred and David, they are key people in our organizations that help us do all the things that we need to do. I'm sure there's lots that we can do to help your business grow, transition, and prosper. Certainly connect with us. We'd love to learn more about your business and find ways to overcome your challenges.